Hi, this is Mario Andretti, and this is Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
Let's talk Garage 56.
Let's do it.
So the NASCAR effort, I mean, they've been working on this for a long time, right? Yeah.
Before we go into what a great achievement, why did they decide to do this?
I don't know if I ever heard someone say this one reason, but I think it kind of feels like the new NASCAR is what it feels like to me. It's like, well, it's like all of these motorsports now are being a little more open about it, right?
I agree.
Like Formula One was retweeting that Leclerc was there.
Yeah.
And it used to be you would never see mention of another series by Formula One especially, but by any of them.
And those hoity-toity Europeans would have snubbed their noses up at the idea of their world champion.
Yeah.
Brilliant getting in a NASCAR, but that's exactly what Jenson Button did.
Yeah.
And, he's now done, 2 NASCAR races?
Yep.
He's living in L.A. I want him to come to Trans Am. Jenson, if you're listening, come to Trans Am. And by the way, if you want to, now that there's these new shows in town, some guy called Ricardo thinks he's funny. Come and join us, Jenson. We'd have you.
Yeah, come and join the show, buddy. But yeah, it was a great effort, and thinking about other reasons they might do it, I don't know, but think about the possibilities. They're already doing a bunch more road courses, right?
Yep.
So now they've got a bunch of research and development done for the cars. Maybe the setups might start changing because the lap times they run here at COTA are not they're not that impressive, to be honest. So maybe they might get better at it on the road courses with the research and development they've done.
Well,
at Le
one of the
Mans.
things I read, which you'll go into the details, but roughly 4 Coca-Cola 600s is what they achieved
Yeah.
at Le Mans, which
Yeah.
that gives you a way of quantifying it that NASCAR fans can understand and any American fan can understand. The Coca-Cola 600 is the big one, same day as Monaco, and the same day as the 500. But to do roughly 4 in a row just shows you how mighty that V8 Chevrolet engine is.
Yeah. Well, I did read about, or maybe it was one of Marshall Pruitt's YouTube videos for Racer.com about the engine. What they did, they lowered the revs.
Yep.
And they, it's still a 2-valve pushrod, 350 8 cubic inch motor, basic, cup car engine.
What do you reckon the horsepower putting out was?
For this weekend, they start at 900, but they also lowered the RPMs from 9,000 down.
You're trying to make it last 24 hours.
So, it was probably 6 something was what I think they said. They never said. I know what it was. They said it was between 500 and 1,000. So that was the only clue they gave. So,
but did you
6,
get it? Did you
7?
clock it at a top speed anywhere, or?
I didn't. I never saw it, but I did see it. In fact, Kevin Kelly, who's watching on YouTube, tweeted at us a hilarious video. Somebody took the Camaro passing a Ferrari and played the Leonard Skinner song. I forgot which one it was. And they said, make this the national anthem, because it was pretty cool to see a Camaro passing a Ferrari at Le Mans. That was pretty cool.
Muscle cars arrive at Le Mans.
But it's a you
there
think
goes the neighborhood
of an LS-V8 and what an amazing engine that is. It's been swapped into everything, souped up to 2,000-3,000 horsepower. But that's kind of what it is. It's an iron block, aluminum head, Chevy V8, push rod. So in fact, I wrote down it. Half a cup season is what this was.
There you go.
Half a cup season in 24 hours.
Half a cup season, yeah.
And the guy that was being interviewed, he said they used all the knowledge that GM got from DPI, Corvette Racing, Cadillac LMDH from years past. I mean, DPI. So, and he said the long block wasn't changed much. They said the Cup car uses a restrictor, which they removed, but they lowered the RPMs. So, and they did that to reduce the load on the valve train to get the reliability.
And in one of those Pruitt videos, they open the hood and show you it, and you can see how low the engine itself is.
Back.
Yeah.
Way back, like, almost on top of, beside the driver's knees almost.
Mm-hmm.
But, somebody said it sounded like a thundering alarm clock every 4 minutes as the Camaro came around the track.
Well, that's one of the delights of actually being at Le Mans, is that you get to a point where, I wouldn't say you're bored, but you've kind of been there, done that, taken the photograph, got the autograph,
after about
sampled the wine,
after 15 hours.
After about 15 hours. So the game is that's that's the Peugeot. Yep. Okay. Oh no.
Yeah.
That's the leading Porsche. And so you get to know the signal sounds of where they're changing gear and so on and so forth. Yeah, so I would have thought that would have been there goes the Chevrolet.
Well, you know that there's nothing out there that sounded like it. So
Oh, God,
that was probably, one of the greatest things for people to, and it's like going back to why you ask. It's great for NASCAR, right? To get out there and maybe change a few misconceptions or stereotypes or whatever. So, it's like, and this was just a first effort at this, and who knows what could come of it.
Yeah, I really do think, and now I've lived here as long as I have, I really do think that the rest of the world has a skewed view of American racing because of NASCAR's popularity and because it's a stock car. And then only when you understand the history of why and the ovals and so on, do you kind of, a light goes off and you go, oh, okay. Because it seems so basic and unsophisticated at first look from the rest of the world that you kind of poo-poo it if you're from Europe or you're part of a South American racing legacy or Australia or whatever. Even the V8s in Australia, the supercars, has a sort of sophistication about it that NASCAR has never been able to get over that. And I think this is just another reason. You bring Jimmy Johnson, you bring Jenson Button, you put them together, you get Mike Rockenfeller, one of the greatest sports car drivers America's ever produced. And, the backup driver is Jordan Taylor, for God's sake. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly said Freebird. That's what it was.
Of course it was Freebird.
Of course it was Freebird. Sorry, how could I have not remembered that one? Don't quit your day job, Johnny.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but that was very cool, and I'm glad they did that. And I do want to talk real quick about the history of the Garage 56. It's this, what do they call it? Experimental, right? And you remember the first time they did this? The Delta Wing, the Nissan. You remember the one that was shaped like a triangle?
Oh, I remember it well. Catherine Legg drove it.
Yeah, it looked like 3 wheels, but it actually had 2 center wheels. They did 2 versions of that, and the second one, I think, was a hybrid. The first one was...
Who was that? We had a Delta driver on the show.
Yeah, we did. We had them back in the day, but that was kind of the beginning. And they've had, what was it? They had a hydrogen-powered one year, which I love this idea, right? You know, why not? Let's get experimental with at least one car, and what better way to do it this year than with the NASCAR? So... what else from Le Mans? I had a couple. Somebody got their foot run over by the Corvette. Who was it? Was it Fabio? I think that's who that was. But did you hear somebody? Oh, one of the commentators when the NASCAR went around, he goes, "Le boogity, boogity."
Yeah, yeah. I hate to say it, but that would have been exactly what I would have done too.
Yeah, that does sound like you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I would have got exactly that reaction from Casey, as I always do.
And the Camaro was pretty high up in the
Le boogity, boogity, boogity.
Le boogity. Yeah. Yes, sir. Who else was it? Oh, there was a good.
And by the way, Chevrolet.
Yes.
Frenchman.
Yes, that's true.
Louis Chevrolet. Come on.
That's true.
And talk about bringing it right up to date. Simon Pagenaud, the first man since Louis Chevrolet to win the Indy 500.
Oh,
do you remember that?
That's right. That's why we dug that stat up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was. It was, by the way, it was a 9th win for Chevrolet, for Corvette. 9th class win.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I love it that Ben Keating was at the wheel of that, too. I did email him, but...
He's no spring chicken either. That's really pleased for
I know.
him.
He's got to be in his early 50s.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Didn't he say, I'll retire when I get slower?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, he was already talking about next year. He was
Good for
already...
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. All right, well, let's take...